All right. Ladies and gentlemen, time for another reaction. We just got back from a fantastic chapter of One Piece. Time to move on to Jujutsu Kaisen. So, let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, shall we? Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another live reading of Jujutsu Kaisen. Last we left off, Sukuna pretty much took his bath, which would allow him to have greater control over, which would polish Megumi's body so that it's more suited for his needs. And we pretty much get explained like what the bath actually does. Matter of fact, let's just do like a short recap on that last chapter. What Uraume basically said this chapter was, well, basically what it does is, the bath is a ritual for turning a vessel that is cherished as a fairy treasure into a cursed tool to protect it from external threats. It means 10 months and 10 days of soaking the vessel in a solution with cursed energy obtained by crushing a choice selection of venomous creatures. And then she's talking about how it corresponds with her killing cursed spirits. Instead, in order to make it a pool, like a bath filled with cursed spirit blood, in order to further submerge Megumi's body in pure evil, basically. And because Kenjaku says, what's the point of soaking in it? And she says, to be near evil, and to submerge Megumi Fushiguro's soul deeper, to submerge it so that only Sukuna remains. So, at the end of the chapter, we see Sukuna, he ran into Ryu Ishigori, you know, the dude with the pompadour that can fire a cannon, which is called his Granite Blast. Ryu pretty much just gets one shot by Sukuna, just instantly gets one shot. His whole head just gets sliced apart. And then he catches up with the person who has taken over Sumiki Fushiguro's body, Yorozu. And they meet up in a stadium with Yorozu going, "Oh dear, switch skins, huh?" And then Sukuna just says, "Yeah, this mug's more handsome." So now we get to see what happens in the next chapter, in chapter 217, Bath Part 2. Why don't you change your face back? You have that advantage over your vessel. Yorozu, the same goes for you. Yes, but we both think this'll work better later. And it shows Yorozu just standing there, but she has what looks to be like a cursed spirit or something that's just chilling right behind her in the stadium. Later? Do you really think you'll still be around? And then, whatever the shadow is, it looks like a shadow, it immediately jumps forward from Yorozu, and it goes to hit where Sukuna is. But Sukuna is already in the air, as Yorozu jumps up on top of this shadow thing, and she rides it in order to get closer to Sukuna, and they immediately start trading hands. And Sukuna winds up kicking her, but she kind of blocks it somehow. Like, she has this like black square that's in front of her that takes the whole kick from Sukuna. And she goes, "Blah, the angel was there. But they didn't notice you, right? But I noticed. Why do you think that is?" Stop asking me questions. You keep talking anyway. It's because of love. The commandments and the hate they inspire cannot trump love, right, Sukuna? I want to be the one who kills you. I want you to be the one who kills me. If you're alive after I win, what will you give me? Everything. What does he mean? What do you mean? What are you going to give her after she's dead? What will you give me? Everything. And then Yorozu doesn't say anything. If I lose, then that would mean I'm dead, and it doesn't matter what you do with a corpse. And then Yorozu starts blushing, and she goes, "Does that include marriage?" Whatever you want. And he says this as he cracks his knuckles. I heard you say it! All right, a binding vow!
I'll be your true wife, and I won't allow a mistress. I'll destroy 3 villages for the ceremony.
The heck is wrong with this lady? Crazy! Crazy! You don't stick your cursed tool in crazy? Like, what is this? For entertainment.
Oh wait, that's still her. For entertainment, I'll make a shrunken head of the handsomest boy in each village, and I'll compose a haiku. Even handsome boys get flaky when hung to dry, but it sure is cute by Yorozu.
And you just see this forest of cherry blossoms as you have shrunken heads of 3 dudes just hanging off ropes of the branches. Really morbid.
A haiku with no seasonal words? What about Uraume?
Oh wait, what about Uraume? Was Uraume reincarnated? I'll have Uraume prepare the feast. Monkey brain pottage would be perfect. Now I'm stoked!
It's like, wow. Who is this Yorozu person to Sukuna? Has she been a fangirl this whole time? Like, she's all nuzzled up to Sukuna, blushing everywhere. And she's all like, now I'm stoked! And then it cuts to Sukuna, using Megumi's curse technique. Divine dogs. As countless dogs just come out of shadows in front. And then it cuts to Yorozu, who prepares herself as she jumps out of the way. And as she jumps out of the way, Sukuna has one of these divine dogs around his shoulders. Kind of reminds me of Godfrey? Of Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. Like the way he had that line around his shoulders. Sukuna has his giant wolf upper half, like the highest form of divine dog. I forget its name. Around his shoulders as he's continuing to fight her. And she's just dodging all of these hits. And mind you, since it's Sukuna who's using all these curse techniques, he is able to use it at a far higher degree because Yorozu dodges a punch from the dog, and the dog is literally massive. When it was with Megumi, it was about the size of your average werewolf that you would see from Underworld or your average werewolf movie. But this divine dog that he has is literally dwarfs Sukuna in size. And Yorozu keeps using her curse technique to try and attack Sukuna. And she envelops Sukuna in these shadows, like these tendrils that just send spikes into the center. She surrounds him in this orb, and then she sends spikes going through it. But it turns out that Sukuna is okay, and he's above Yorozu. And Yorozu keeps using this curse technique. I don't know what it is. I don't know what this curse technique is, but she's using it, and she's able to shape it. It's like she's shaping her very own shadow to attack Sukuna. Or it's something other than her shadow, because we see her shadow underneath her, but then we see this like black ring where this technique is stemming from, and it keeps going after Sukuna, and Sukuna notices that at the tip of them, they're very serrated edges, like barbed edges, as if he gets stabbed with it, it's going to take out a big old chunk of flesh as well. And then Sukuna notices, and he goes,
"Wait.
What's that?
What's that?
What's that? Is it your vessel's curse technique?"
Oh, wait, that's her saying that, because she's, okay, she's the one saying that, because she's looking at Sukuna, and she realizes that his curse technique is different.
Wait, what's that? Is it your vessel's curse technique?
Yes, what about Malevolent Shrine?
What about Malevolent Shrine?
No, I won't use that. To drown Megami Fushigoro's soul, I must destroy Sumiki Fushiguro. I shall do that with 10 Shadows technique, and at the same time, stain his soul with the sin of having hurt his older sister.
So this is what he intends to do in order to plunge Megumi further and further into despair. He's not going to he intends to kill his sister, but not using any of his own techniques. He intends to use everything that Megumi is, everything he has, to kill his sister, so that it just drives it further into his mind that this is the curse I'm using, because if Megumi ever gets back to his senses, he'll just have the thought of, Sukuna used my own curse technique to kill my sister. And it would have him it'll just fill him with second thoughts. So he's just going to be using Megumi's techniques in order to further just mess with Megumi's mind.
What about Malevolent Shrine?
No, I won't use that. To drown Megumi Fushigoro's soul, I must destroy Sumiki Fushiguro. I shall do that with 10 Shadows technique and at the same time, stain his soul with the sin of having hurt his older sister. That should also weaken his resolve.
And then Yorozu gets upset.
Give me a break!
And Sukuna's just looking like, what? And she starts having a tantrum and starts stomping into the ground with enough force to actually break the ground, going,
You touch your future wife with a curse technique that isn't your own? I'm not into that kinky stuff.
hold up, full stop, hold up. Pause for a minute.
Do you think you can beat me without using Malevolent Shrine?
And then we get an explanation of what her curse technique is. Yorozu's curse technique is construction. Depending on her training, she can recreate almost all substances that she recognizes except for special curse tools. Having constructed many types of combat equipment on her way to becoming a veteran sorcerer, Yorozu developed liquid metal with changeable volume yet stable physical properties due to semi-autonomous cursed energy. Wow, so that's her technique. Her curse technique revolves around her basically being able to construct anything she wants except for curse tools. And that thing that emanates from her is not a shadow. It's literal liquid metal that she can manipulate with cursed energy. That's the reason why it can change its shape so easily to whatever she wants. Interesting. Liquid metal with changeable volume yet stable physical properties due to semi-autonomous cursed energy. Superior levels of cursed energy manipulation. She uses that for flesh armor specialized in appropriating numerous biofunctions. So as she's getting angry at Sukuna, she pretty much covers her body in this liquid metal to give herself like this big, monstrous, winged, bug-like body. And then what did we just talk about? We just talked about this when Sukuna started using Megumi's technique. What was the one particular technique we were all hoping Sukuna would not use? What is the one technique? Like I'm trying to use the right fist. What is the one technique that we were all hoping Sukuna would not use? As Yorozu coats herself in this, there's something in my eye and it's poking me. There it is, I think I got it. As Yorozu coats herself in this liquid metal to turn herself into like a giant bug monster, a muscular winged bug monster, to fight Sukuna, Sukuna puts his hands in the position to summon Maharaga. Remember, Maharaga is a curse technique that even Megumi could not control. And we just talked about how bad things would be if Sukuna summoned Maharaga and gained control of it. And remember, this is Sukuna. So all of his curse techniques that Megumi uses is amped up times 100 because it's Sukuna. Maharaga was only killed by Sukuna. And that's because Sukuna used Malevolent Shrine to just absolutely destroy him. Now it's Sukuna who's going to be summoning Maharaga on his own. So can you imagine? Can you imagine how strong this Maharaga is going to be when it's Sukuna who's bringing him forth? We just talked about how bad it would be if Sukuna brought out Maharaga. We saw Nue. We've seen Divine Dogs. But now he's just straight up bringing out as Maharaga as he says, "Perfect. It's time for a test drive." As we see the wheel that is always above Maharaga appearing right behind Sukuna. I gotta go to Megumi Fushiguro and his techniques. So everyone can understand just how bad of a situation this is for Maharaga to be bought out by Sukuna. All right, Jujutsu, 10 Shadows. 8-handled sword, divergent Sila divine general Maharaga. Yatsuka no Tsurugi Kaishi no Shinso Makora. Yatsuka no Tsurugi Ikai Shinsho Makora. Yeah. 8-handled sword, divergent Sila divine general Maharaga. The most powerful, uncontrollable Shikigami that the 10 Shadows technique can produce. Not a single user of the technique has ever been able to tame Maharaga, including Megumi. He only threatens to summon it as a trump card if he feels he's going to lose a battle anyway, releasing it to attack both him and his opponent. And Sukuna is about to bring out Maharaga, the most powerful Shikigami of the 10 Shadows technique. Just to give you a description of the usage. Maharaga is the most uncontrollable Shikigami in the history of the 10 Shadows technique. It has never been tamed or commanded like other familiars in the history of the entire Zenin family. However, users of the 10 Shadows technique can summon it via an exorcism ritual in an attempt to exorcise it at any time. Other people can be included in the ritual, but defeating the respective Shikigami will not allow the 10 Shadows technique user to use them. Generally, this can be considered an impractical summoning. Nevertheless, Megumi believes this is an ace in the hole, his last resort in the most threatening situation. Mind you, this is what Megumi considers a trump card. The last line of defense he would use if he's going to lose a fight anyway. And Sukuna, literally starting in the battle, not even using any techniques of his own other than Divine Dogs, decides, you know what, I'm just going to go from Divine Dogs, which is the first line of his 10 Shadows techniques. And he just skips right to the end. There's something in my eye. I got to get it out. I'll be right back. It is poking me in the eye and it hurts. I'll be right back. Eyelashes gone. It was literally laying on the crease of my eye and it blended in so well. And I was just wondering, something is poking my eye. I gotta get it out. But Sukuna just went from like the first type of Shikigami in Megumi's arsenal that he tends to use, and he just skipped right to the end. He just skipped right to the end. Ridwan, welcome. Hope you enjoy yourself while you're here. So this is bad. By summoning Maharaga and forcing his opponent to participate in the ritual, Megumi can take his adversary down with him. Megumi Fushiguro twice reconsidered summoning Maharaga before ultimately doing so after being severely injured by Haruta Shigemo in Shibuya. They would have been quickly killed if Sukuna had not shown up. Megumi was already injured, so a single strike from the Shikigami was able to put him in a state of suspended death until the ritual ended. Sukuna arrived and healed Megumi, deciding to save the young sorcerer for his own plans. His own plans being him being his new vessel, and Sukuna getting his hands on the uncontrollable Maharaga. Sukuna arrived and healed Megumi, deciding to save the young sorcerers for his own plans. The King of Curses admitted Maharaga was quite strong, capable of adapting to his moves and counterattacking. Its initial attacks didn't work on Sukuna, and it suffered heavy damage from his dismantle technique. Once the wheel on its head turned the first time, Maharaga was able to send Sukuna crashing through numerous buildings using cursed energy rather than positive energy. It was also able to see and deflect to dismantle the next time Sukuna attempted to use it. Maharaga's adaptability is not limited to specific moves, but all related techniques. Let me say this. Maharaga is essentially Doomsday from DC. Maharaga is able to adapt quickly. So if you use a technique, it adapts against that technique so that you can't use that same technique again. Sukuna believed Mahoraga could have adapted slashing attacks in general after just experiencing dismantle. So what that means is that not only can it adapt against attacks against it, but it can also adapt to use those same attacks against its own enemy. To counter Mahoraga's rapid regeneration, it must be defeated by a different attack than what had previously injured it. Sukuna won the fight by using Malevolent Shrine to relentlessly slash the Shikigami before finishing off with another method, a powerful flaming arrow that incinerated the Divine General. And I didn't go through what it can actually do, I just read the history and usage of it. The Divine General possesses the ability to adapt to any and all phenomena. It adapts to anything and everything. That's what it can do. And Sukuna is trying to summon it. Having a Shikigami at your disposal. Having a Shikigami that at your disposal that can pretty much replicate and adapt to basically everything that you do. That's already powerful. Let me see. Is it capable? You're saying that the 10 shadows technique is capable of Ridwan, you're saying that it's capable, can rival the 6 eyes and limitless. I'm looking. Okay. All right. Okay, that's when Gojo said it. Gojo said it, said that revealed to Megami that a limitless user like himself and 10 Shadows Tech user like the latter once clashed as heads of their respective families. He used this to suggest that Megami can become as powerful as him, the strongest current sorcerer. So yes. So as of right now, the only thing that can rival, that has the capacity to rival. Yeah, it's been a while since I saw that, so I was thinking, like, can it rival him? But I forgot about it. But as of right now, the only thing that can rival Satoru Gojo's 6 eyes and limitless abilities is the 10 Shadows technique. Like, it has the capability of being able to rival the 6 eyes and limitless. And Takaba's comedy curse technique. Those are the only abilities that we've seen thus far that are capable of rivaling Gojo in terms of power. One has the capacity to do so. Well, both of them have the capacity to rival both Gojo in power. Takaba's comedy curse technique, where if he thinks it's funny, then it'll happen. He literally can reshape reality if he wanted to, but he doesn't have the full understanding of what his curse technique is or how it even works. So that kind of nerfs his power into the ground. But Megumi has the power to be able to rival Gojo in power because, I mean, it's been done before. A person with the 6 eyes clashed with a person of the 10 Shadows technique, and they clashed with each other in the past. So that's huge. So that's also scary because that power is now in the hands of Sukuna. But going back to the Divine General, the Divine General possesses the ability to adapt to any and all phenomena. Literally, it can adapt to everything. If it is injured by a particular attack, the 8-handled wheel will turn, allowing it to adapt. As long as that wheel keeps turning, Mahoraga will keep adapting. If its adversary uses that same technique again, Mahoraga will counter it. So as soon as a technique is used on Mahoraga will spin its wheel, and it thus becomes capable of countering it the next time it's used. This works offensively as well, adapting attacking to efficiently break through its opponent's defenses. So not only can it adapt to techniques that are thrown at it, but it can also... Sukuna is also stronger. Remember? Not stronger than Gojo, Like, they're two of the strongest people in the series, but we don't know the strength of Sukuna relative to Gojo. They're both kind of neck and neck when it comes to their power. So I'm not going to say that Sukuna is just clearly stronger than Gojo, but Sukuna is stronger than Megumi, especially when it comes to using the 10 Shadows technique. So the 10 Shadows itself is also going to be stronger in Sukuna's hands. But not only can Maharaga adapt himself to make it so that he can counter things done to him, but he can also adapt his own attacks and ways of methods of attacks so that it can break through literally anyone's defense. That kind of works the same way as, I want to call it, I think it's Sukuna's cleave, because his cleave technique, Sukuna's cleave technique, is capable of adapting itself, like in terms of power, to a person's toughness and their cursed energy levels. So that way, the cleave itself can still slice through them regardless of what those levels are. That's how Maharaga's offensive capabilities work. He adapts, it can adapt so that it can just slice through a person's defense. So if a person starts to get more and more defensive, Maharaga will adjust itself so it can slice through that defense. Additionally, Maharaga has the strength to shatter concrete or to hit someone through multiple buildings with a single blow. It also wields the Sword of Extermination, a blade attached to its forearm that is enveloped in positive energy, making it especially effective against cursed spirits. So not only is this like the highest form of Shikigami that the 10 Shadows technique can use, but it also has basically, I wouldn't even call it a cursed tool, but it's a positive tool that can hurt cursed spirits. It's effective against cursed spirits. Let me go over here to the Sword of Extermination. It's a cursed tool possessed by the most powerful Shikigami of the 10 Shadows technique, 8-handled sword divergent Sila Divine General Maharaga. That's a mouthful. It is a specialized blade for cursed spirits that is enveloped in positive energy. Has the sword crudely attached to its right forearm under several layers of bandage wrappings. Shikigami generally engages in offensive use in offense using close quarters combat, making the Sword of Extermination its primary weapon in battle. Maharaga, and then let's see. Okay. Sukuna recognized the Sword of Extermination for its unique abilities and admitted that he would have died had he been a normal cursed spirit. After adapting to Sukuna's slashing-based curse technique, Maharaga was able to deflect one of his attacks using said blade. Maharaga began his battle with Sukuna by swinging the Sword of Extermination down at the King of Curses. Sukuna is an incarnated curse spirit, meaning he's accompanying a human vessel. Due to this, the positive energy emitted by the blade didn't destroy his body. Even so, Maharaga's strength forced Sukuna to dodge before the blade broke through his defense. So not only does Maharaga has all that, Sukuna is not full power, praying he doesn't get the last 5 fingers. Ridwan, I was thinking about that when I went to church. I was just thinking about, what am I going to react to today? And I was thinking, things are going to get really bad if Sukuna gets those last 5 fingers. I was literally thinking about this morning. On my way to church, I was just literally thinking about that. I'm thinking, okay, so not only is he capable of using Megumi's techniques, but also his own techniques. Now we see that he's capable of beginning to summon Maharaga, and he's capable of using all of Megumi's 10 Shadows techniques, but on a far grander, more powerful scale. But this is him at only 15 fingers. This is Sukuna, who's literally 5% away from reaching his maximum power. And he's currently in the vessel of an individual who allows him to gain even more power and more techniques. So I'm praying that he doesn't get his hands on those last 5 fingers as well, because at that point, Gojo better be out that prison realm, okay? Gojo better be out that prison realm if Sukuna gets all the last 5 fingers. Because if he's not out there, we're all dead. Everybody is. And not to mention, we are centered on Sukuna right now. But we still got Kenjaku, who's intending to end the culling game at some point just so he can merge Tengen with all of humanity. We got two big bads doing literally whatever they want to right now. We got two of them doing whatever they want to, and we're focused on Sukuna and not the man who's trying to end the world. Jujutsu is not going to get a happy ending. Many deaths is going to happen. Oh, I know there is. I know there is. There's still people who are still going to die. I know it. I know it. I've adapted the entire mindset that I have for Game of Thrones, you know, before we got that abysmal Season 8 and Attack on Titan. Don't get attached to anybody. Don't get attached to anybody. And I feel like I have had like a far greater sense of inner peace when I haven't gotten attached to anybody in these series because any one of them could die at any moment. Don't get attached to anybody. You never know who's about to kick the bucket next. But, this is something. This is something. So, we got to see a little bit of Yorozu's curse technique. Basically allows her to pretty much construct anything she wants. And also developed like this liquid metal that she can use to help create anything she wants. She literally can create anything, any type of object she wants, save for curse tools itself. And also, she's a massive fangirl for Sukuna, who's apparently wanting to get married to Sukuna if Sukuna loses. Yuji, the last one standing? I don't know. I don't know. It's too soon to say. It's far too soon to say who's going to be the last one standing. It's far too soon. We're just going to have to see where these next chapters lie. But your girl's kind of really, and I don't use this word, kind of really thirsty for Sukuna. So much to the point where it's like, we're going to have a wedding. Yorozu is powerful. Yes, she is powerful. So we're just going to have to see what happens after she basically just turned herself into like a giant bug woman. While Sukuna prepares to bring out the most power. Just how powerful is Yorozu for Sukuna to have to bring out Maharaga right now? They just started fighting. Just how powerful is Yorozu? It's a question for another time. I haven't seen it say when the next chapter is supposed to be dropping for Jujutsu. Let me reload the page, and then I'll bring this session for a close for today. It doesn't have it up yet. I imagine it's probably going to have the date for the next chapter up either later today or tomorrow. But overall, this was a pretty fun chapter, but it's like Sukuna is not even trying. He hasn't done anything to seriously harm Yorozu yet. All he did was just block some of her strikes, tried to hit her with Divine Dog, like his big, massive Divine Dog Shikigami, kicked her, and that was it. Now he's bringing out Maharaga. The question is, will Maharaga bend the knee to Sukuna? That's the thing. Just gonna have to find out in the next chapter. These stories are great, and I'm so glad that I get to share these with you. So, to everyone here, under the sound of my voice as I bring this to a close, I really hope you all enjoyed. I love reading these live for you, doing voices for everybody, and I really hope you all have been entertained with everything I do here. As this channel gets closer and closer to reaching 4,000 subscribers, and as my birthday comes up this upcoming Thursday, I just want to say, you really do make this job worthwhile. I mean, this is my only job, but I just want to say thank you for making everything that I do here an absolute joy to do. You make my day better just by enjoying what I do. You really do. And I just want to say thank you to all of you, whether you've been here a minute or if you're just now showing up and you're new to the channel. I just want to say, hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, share this stream with everyone you know, because the more the merrier. And maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later peoples. Sukuna's about to bring out Maharaga! Everybody run!